Facebook Live. How's everybody doing?
Are we live?
I guess so. It says so right yonder. Man, oh man.
Facebook Live.
Now, I wonder if we're talking loud enough for them to hear it over there.
I think they'll hear us.
Will they hear the music?
No, but the people listening on Anchor.com and Google and what's the other podcast that we're on? What's the Spotify?
Spotify, yes sir.
Radio Public.
Yeah, any place where it plays podcast.
Yes, they'll hear us. So let's get down to the gritty. Yeah, we're going to fast forward that because we can.
Because we can.
We can live.
We can.
You know, what were we going to talk about tonight?
We were going to talk about Stevie Fast being the baddest man ever hit sit behind a race car.
Well, we're tuned in. Are you tuned in?
On all cylinders, baby.
The podcast.
We got anybody watching? We got 4 people watching us over here on a live, by God. We everywhere. We on the podcast, we on the Facebook Live, we're doing it all.
We're all over the interwebs.
Oh, dang.
We're all over.
Hopefully not all over.
Well, I mean...
You know, there's certain places we don't want to be.
Right, I turn them places around. I turn them down.
Yeah. They approached me and was like, we'll give you X amount of dollars per inch. And I said, I'll go broke.
Whoa.
Stop it. Too much. Too much.
So where are you going in Georgia? You were talking about Georgia earlier.
Potentially, if everything goes good with the Door Summers group, I'll be going to Valdosta. The Super Bowl was small tire drag racing, baby. Lights out, no mercy. The Duck X production, the fastest radio cars on the planet.
That's very exciting.
Yes, sir. I've been down there for the last, probably the last 4 or 5 years, probably. Been in there, got to know Duck pretty well. That's where I get to meet my heroes.
Right.
I get to go up to him and be like, hey, I'm nobody special, but I'm going to act like I am today. What's up?
He's like, look at me, I got this hat.
I got the Cletus shirt on. I got the LS Nasty hat on. John Doc, thank you much.
As long as you look professional, no one will question you. If you look like you know what you're doing,
yeah,
no one even bothers to question you.
Well, yeah, that's just like the military. Just walk in and act like you own stuff.
Yeah, just be like, hey, that and this.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
Hey, report to me right now.
Right.
They're like,
what do you want to know? Be like, how are things?
Speaking of Georgia, did you watch any of the U.S. Street Nationals this year or last weekend?
I have not.
Oh,
I've
man.
been slacking.
That's all right. Well, you've been busy. You got some other stuff going on.
I've been slacking, bro.
Did any of you guys watch the U.S. Nationals? See Stevie Fast break the world drag radio record?
Is that his real last name?
His actual name is Stevie Jackson. Stevie Fast Jackson.
Stevie Bastion.
Yeah. He's what we got here?
Oh.
We got Mr. Todd Law watching us around there.
Who?
Todd Law.
Well, that's cool.
I work with, when I go back to work at the place I'll be going back to work with, I'll work with Mr. Todd.
Oh, hi, Todd.
What's up, buddy?
How are you doing? Doing good? Great.
We got 7 folks watching us back there.
Holy cow.
Son.
God, I don't know what to do. I
don't
know how to contain my excitement.
Did you see the Facebook Live I did about a month ago? And then John Doc actually got on my Facebook Live and I completely went like 5 years school girl. Yeah. I was like,
I remember that. I remember that well. I was like, God, I hope he doesn't do this when we go to other places.
Oh, no.
I'm just...
Usually I expect it, but he just kind of popped up there and I was like, whatever. It happened when Birdman jumped on my Facebook Live too. He was like, you're doing a good job. And I was like, why do you know who I am? Why are you watching my Facebook Live? Thank you.
That's cool. Yeah, no doubt. I go down there and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, piss off, commenter. And I'm like, I don't go fast. I don't know these guys.
It's just because you're tall.
It's because I'm tall.
Most of us are short, so we're like, ooh, tall people.
Right. Is that what I have to do to hang out?
Yeah, you gotta be short.
I gotta be short?
You gotta be short.
Damn it.
Now, the Radioverse, the Street Nationals is the first drag radio event of the year. It kicks off down in Bradenton. There was a lot of records sitting down there this year. The cars are incredibly fast already. The weight breaks that have been given to the nitrous cars have made the nitrous cars unbelievably fast. Stevie Jackson was tuning the other finalist in the Radio versus the World, and it was a nitrous car. It was his teammate. They qualified 1 and 2, and they finished 1 and 2. So really, really impressive to see what's going on there. The small block no times and stuff is incredibly fast. I don't know if you guys watch, like I said, John Dock's YouTube channel, Justin Swanson, Swan Gang, any of them guys. They're basically heads up street racing on the track. They don't show times, anything like that. And that's a serious game, especially in the southeastern part of the state. That's a super, super serious game. They don't play around. And
what kind of money are we talking?
As far as what it takes to build or what they're racing for?
Both. Competitively, what would you put into a car? Like, how much would you expect to put into a car to be competitive on that level?
Well, at that level, there's different levels of that level. You've got your X275, your Pro 275, your Radio versus the World, your Pro Street, you've got your Heavy Street, you've got Ultra Street.
So many choices.
Yeah, there's a bunch. The entry level class would be Heavy Street.
Yeah.
And those cars are still running, 580s, 590s. So they're still super, super fast. To get into something like that, you'll probably spend $85,000. To get into what's probably the most popular class that most people want to be into is the X275 / Pro 275. And basically what that is, that's limited by the tire size that they run. They have to run a 275/60/15, which is a 28-10-5. And the way that works is they're limited by tire size and then by power adder versus cubic inch, and then obviously weight. That's how they make an equal playing field of everything.
Okay,
and,
so when you say power adder, I know what you're talking about, but for people in...
Okay, Roger. Basically, nitrous, supercharger, turbos are called power adders. Each one of those power adders have a distinct advantage over the others. So, like say, a nitrous car gets to weigh less than a turbo, or gets to weigh less than a supercharged car. A supercharged car gets to weigh less than a turbo car mostly. And then a twin turbo car is going to weigh obviously more than all of them because it's got dual power adders. And some people are actually going into the dual power adders such as having a turbo and nitrous, and then they just keep stacking weight on it because the tire size is the same. So the more power you have, the more weight they penalize you with. Because if not, you could go out there with an 1,800-pound car that made 4,000 horsepower and dominate the field, which kills the class. So you can't have that. You got to level the field out in a certain way. Realistically, in order to run a competitive 275 car, you need $175,000 probably for the car.
Big money.
Yeah, and that's not. You wouldn't be able to sustain the car at that money. You would need sponsorship money to still help at that level.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you step into the Pro 275, which is the same size tire, but it's a different compound, so they're actually a little quicker. Okay. And to get in on something like that, you probably need $250,000 plus the money to travel, run a car easily.
Plus.
Yeah.
Plus sponsors.
Yeah. And then to run the Radio versus the World, I mean, you're $1 million easily.
Big team.
Yeah, big team.
Big team money.
Yeah, well, like Stevie Jackson's team, they just broke the record. They went 352 at like 202. So to take a car that weighs 2,200 pounds and go 202 mile an hour and 660 foot, it takes a lot of money.
That's unbelievably fast. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
If people that have never gone to the track and seen those kind of runs,
then
to understand that in 30 feet, they're already cresting 60, 70 mile an hour.
30 feet, they're 100 mile an hour.
That's what I mean, just the amount of...
Yeah. Literally 60 foot times for less than a second.
Right.
The average car person talks about 0 to 60 times being like, the new Corvette coming out is going to be under 4 seconds, which is like crazy fast. Well, they're traveling 60 feet in under a second.
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's ridiculous. Take 200 miles an hour, 202 mile an hour, divide that by 660 foot, and that's how fast they're moving per second.
Essentially.
Yeah,
with a full shot on
Yeah. It's incredibly fast. It's literally, if you've not seen it in person, it's unimaginable.
Oh, it is crazy to see. I mean, undescribable. Yeah, it really is.
And then what's crazy is to see the athletic ability of the drivers. When you see the in-car footage, I mean, there's so much going on in a blink of an eye.
Right.
You know,
you got to be on your. Got to be on your timing.
Yeah, everything, you know, and I think that's what I like about drag racing so much is that it takes such a team to be at that level because everybody has a job and through the entire time you're there. Staging the car. After the car is run, there's got to be somebody down there to pull it back. When you pull it back, you got to get the car up in the air. You got to check all the vitals. You got to go over the data. And the data is not just the engine data. I mean, literally, Stevie Jackson's got a whole YouTube channel based on what he has to do per grains of water in the air per track to know what the car's going to do because the cars are tuned on such a ragged edge. Literally,
right, just such fine line tuning. It's all or nothing.
Yeah, at that level, I mean, you got to have a weather station all the time.
Let me take my meteorologist for my team and go out here.
He literally qualifies as a meteorologist.
Holy crap!
Yeah, at that level, it's no longer hot rod stuff. It's your engineer science. I mean, it's
physics and
it's crazy, but that's what makes it so awesome.
It's math.
Yeah,
lots of math.
Yeah. So kids, if you want to, be a really fast drag racer, pay attention, be smart, don't be like me.
If you want to be a fast drag racer, just drive very well and attach yourself to a team that already has a car that just needs a driver.
Yeah. Stay skinny. So what we got on here? We got Hot Rod Sparks on here. Bobby Stennett on here.
Bring him in here soon.
All right, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Got Dennis Johnson. Yeah, he says the brakes would be cool on a 78 Trans Am. Absolutely. We got Jared Blevins watching. We got some people watching. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah. 78 TAs. That's
yeah. That's
bandit car.
Your car now, right?
I believe so.
Oh, what's up with that?
I believe we worked out a pretty even swap.
Oh, I like it.
So
I like it.
And the deal is as good as what each party feels walking away, right?
Yeah.
If everybody's content, it's a good deal.
So it takes an incredible amount of knowledge, incredible amount of discipline, an incredible amount of money to do what these guys do.
Money.
It's honestly that without each part of that equation, you can't do what you need to do. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the right people on your team that know how to make it work, it don't do what it needs to do. So it's almost like a ballet, really. It's almost like a ballet. So
right.
It's very, very, very interesting to watch. And then you go down there to the Georgia race, to where there are 500 of these caliber cars.
That's an amazing amount of numbers.
It is. It
seems like that's too many cars to get down the track.
No, it's a 4-day event. It's a 4-day event.
4-day event?
Yeah.
500 cars, 4-day event.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of eye burning from
it really is.
from the fuel. A lot of people have never been down there. God dang.
Yeah. I mean, once you enter the track, you never have to leave because the race stops, but the after activities don't. I mean, I've been down there and watched a $5,000 foot race after they closed down. Yeah.
Do what?
Yeah.
A $5,000 foot race.
Yeah. It's nuts. I mean, these guys race everything. Nothing's off limits. Literally, I watched a $5,000 foot race. They have big wheel races after the track closes. Power wheels races. They have bench press competitions. They have cook-offs. They have who can do the longest kickstand. I mean, it is an unbelievable riot of a party. Imagine a biker rally for drag racers.
Right.
And that's what this is. It is the most surreal experience that I've ever been a part of. Like, I look, people take vacations. This is my vacation. This is what I look forward to every year.
Like some people go to the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Georgia.
Yeah. I go to No Mercy and Lights Out. There are two races. One's in February coming up the 13th, and then one's in October.
Lights Out is the big one that I follow online.
Yeah.
I do follow Lights Out online. Yeah, that's the best race to me is.
Yeah. That's the same race. Lights Out and No Mercy is the same race. One's in February, one's in October. And it is literally the Super Bowl of small tire drag racing. It is the fastest radial small tire racing on the planet. Hands down, bar none. There's nothing that competes with it.
So, Lights Out and what?
No Mercy.
No Mercy. So it's like rod running spring, rod running fall.
Pretty much.
Same race, different times of the year.
Yeah. They literally their coin phrase is everything else is testing for these races.
Wow.
Yeah. Because there's no bigger audience, there's no bigger money. The pot, like the smallest amount of money that they're racing for.
That's what I was about to ask. What's the big size? What's the big prize?
$150,000.
$150,000.
Yeah. The smallest prize is $25,000.
But how much money they spend trying to get there?
We don't like talking about that.
It's not about what you're spending, it's about what you're winning.
It's about beating the other person.
Right. The money is to help you for one meal.
Yeah, it's just a byproduct.
Right. It's just fuel for the weekend.
I mean, literally, you go down there and South Georgia Motorsports Complex will hold about 35,000 people. And if you're not down there on Wednesday, you're not getting in on Friday.
Dang.
They shut it down. Literally, the fire marshals come in and shut it down because it goes so far past the capacity that like all the stands are full on one side and the other. All the bottom part of the racetrack is full, and there's only standing room all the way down each side of it.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a massive ordeal. What Donald Long has been able to do with that race is amazing. This is the 11th year of it. And this all started from an idea on a webpage called yellowbullet.com to where basically the NHRA had blowed cars up so much to where they didn't even look like cars. So he was like, he got with Mickey Thompson and was like, well, we need to do a drag radio race. And then it was born. And that one guy has been able to do this. And it's, he's just proof that if you set your mind to something, you can do it. It's literally the only race that radio guys want to be a part of.
God dang it, I love this country.
Me too, brother. Me too. I love it.
It is. That's what I'm talking about. Who else we got on there? Anybody?
Nope. Same folks.
Same folks.
Yeah.
Good. We've established a viewing base.
Yeah.
7 people.
What we need to do is next time I'll bring my phone and set it up here too, and we'll live stream simultaneously both of them.
That's just going to confuse folks.
Huh?
That's just going to be confusing. People are going to be like,
who do I watch?
Who do I watch?
Which
angle do I want?
What do I want to do? Help me, Daddy.
Get 2 phones.
Ooh. Hey.
Watch each angle.
So what you're saying is that we're stimulating the economy if we do that.
I don't know what we're stimulating.
Hey, whoa. Easy.
So, Kentucky Dragway. Season starting to get underway.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this or not, but there's going to be 3. I've not done anything with I-64, which is weird because they're 5 minutes from my house.
Right.
But Aaron Sipple and Carrie Sipple at Kentucky Dragway have really reached out to me and been super supportive of what I want to do. And they let me announce up there and stuff even when the weekends that I'm not working, they let me come in there and do that. But they are doing 3 no-time small tire drag radial type races this year. I don't have the exact dates on them yet. They have them on their webpage, but it's going to be it'll definitely be the fastest radio cars within a 3-hour driving radius of where we're at. That's going to be down there. It's going to be a really good show all 3 years.
Really good show.
Super fast cars. I know there's going to be multiple 4-second 8 mile cars there.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. And just to remind you all, this is a show that we put on, the Great American 4x4.
Absolutely.
That show will be coming up in July. We've
That's
already
right.
started planning it.
Ooh, daddy.
So jump on the face page. You go to that page.
Yeah.
Give us a like.
Absolutely. And also, especially you people on the Facebook Live deal, if you have an event that you want us to talk about, post it on there, messages, because the whole point of this is to broaden the automotive community as far as we can. We're not limited to just drag racing. That's just what I like to talk about. But if it's motocross, four-wheeling, dune buggy driving, we don't care. If it's something that gets you out there with your family and your friends and it involves 2 to 4 wheels, some gas and some oil, we want to talk about it.
Yes, and speaking of talking about off-road, there's a $4 million grant going out for an off-road park.
$4 million.
$4 million. Yes.
That's an insane amount of money to be a grant for an off-road park. It makes me wonder how that's going to work out.
It's
going
into,
right?
Some of it's going to be for infrastructure on the way to the park. So the road going to the park, like the highway, things like that. So it's going to make access to that park easier. It's going to make it easier for everybody. Plus, I do believe it has room for upgrades in the park, within the park,
Well,
for their infrastructure.
The park's dirt nasty, right? Moorhead?
Rush Off-Road, I do believe.
Rush Off-Road, okay. Where's that at?
Boyd County.
Boyd County, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a big thing in the paper about it.
Yeah, that's where they do the rock bouncers. They have the big show.
The big hill and all that good stuff. Yeah, so
we need to figure out who coordinates that and talk to them and see if we can.
I mean, there's so many. What is there? Wildcat and the Hollowed Roof.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's. It's funny we're having this conversation. I was actually talking to a couple buddies of mine, and I'm like, I love drag racing, but I can only drag race when it's pretty. So the idea of a side by side or like a K5 or something like that, I'm like, man,
I'm telling you,
this could be something we could use when it's not drag racing.
I'm telling you, man, there's nothing better than being out in the woods. I like being out in the woods. I like fast stuff, but I like nature. I like being out in the woods, being out by myself, or with a few select friends, whatever. And off-roading is just fun, man.
Yeah, like I said, it's just something I haven't done for us. My most experienced off-road is in a Humvee through Iraq, Afghanistan.
That's the wrong kind of off-road to associate with it. No.
Jason, okay.
No, there's the thrill of your brakes going out downhill and stuff like that. Like that's what keeps you going back. It doesn't matter if you have a parachute on the back of your off-road vehicle or not, because you're not going fast enough for it to be effectual. So
gotcha. And you got plenty of trees to stop you.
Yeah. I mean, you can only roll so far before you hit the first rock or tree.
God, sounds painful.
But I'm not like one of the rock crawler guys.
Yeah.
I have no inclination at all to want to be a rock crawler guy. Those guys are a special breed.
See, when I watch that stuff, that's where I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. They've got everything I like: turbos, LS motors, fast. Just instead of going down the racetrack, they're like, you see that rock ledge right there? Up my beer, y'all. Watch this. Woo! Like that's got Ricky D written all over it. I just don't have the money to do that and drag racing.
I like watching them, but yeah, some of them guys. God dang, you put a lot of faith in the fabrication of that cage.
Yeah, but
so much trust in that fabrication.
We got it.
It's a hell of a weld.
Them guys has got a lot of money in that stuff too. I mean, you're probably talking about $75,000 or something. Oh
yeah, yeah. Well, hell, like the turbo Polaris is like $25,000
right
off the bat.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna bust all that to hell the first time you take it out. So then you're gonna have to buy upgraded suspension parts.
Yeah, that's just the side stuff. I'm talking about the big dome rock crawlers.
All the big fabricated buggies and
things
of that nature. Yeah, buggies and bouncers.
When they go potato.
And there's a bunch of those that come down to our show.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate that it has worked out to where I have had to miss every single show you guys have done. I will not miss this one this year.
Bluegrass crawlers, the Jeep people come down. A lot of classic off-road stuff.
Got Alicia Botts, Brian Anderson, Brian Sinners. Thank y'all. We appreciate it.
And we're going to keep talking?
We're going to keep
for
talking.
You.
Just for you.
And Owensville, as of Fields and Wheels of Fire. Their fire department usually puts that show on.
Okay.
And I believe it's at the 64 Motorplex.
Okay.
So,
I know that I-64 does a couple things up there.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to putting on shows and stuff like that, I see a lot of controversy over what is a show car and what is not a show car. What do you view as a show car? Because, right now the big thing is patina.
I hate patina.
I know you do. I know you do.
I like it in the right setting.
Right.
Yeah. And as far as the show, it depends on what class you're going to show in, because you've got the the under destruction class. There's a rebuild. You got to have a certain amount of primer, what have you, and certain number of body mods or interior mods to be, a custom under construction kind of thing.
Right.
But I like finished paint. A lot of people are like the rust and patina, and that's cool if you like that. But if it's a solid car and it's 98%, why not take it the other 2% and put a nice paint job on it?
Well,
or at least
I can give you my validation on that.
Right, and people say the primer fad is gone. I'm still a primer dude. Like, get it all under one cover, so that we can see the curves of the car, because that's what makes a car and a truck appealing to me, is the body line, the look, the stance. And if your car is 98 million different colors of primer, it's hard to discern those body lines and what makes them look good. Yeah. That's what makes a car to me, is the craftsmanship in a car.
I respect a lot of different ways on it. I think as a person that had a pretty nice 67 Camaro.
Hell yeah, you did.
It was not fun to drive. It wasn't fun to have out.
Too many dirt, too many things to happen to it.
The one day I drove it to work, a 75-year-old man literally hit it, like back into it. So what happens there, I think, and I think this is really truly the reason for the fad that we have right now, is that so many people are tired of show cars or whatnot cars that are so nice that you literally can't enjoy them. If you get caught in the rain, then you've got 40 hours of cleaning. Or if you take it out and a rock hits your paint, you can't fix it, and it's going to cost another $5,000 to have that fixed. I love looking at those cars that are finished cars, and they're beautiful, but I can also understand why people don't go that far as much anymore, because literally I think we went from a culture of I want to have this pristine beauty car to I want to drive my car. I think that's why the Pro Touring or the Pro, what do they call it, Resto Mod is such a big movement, because you can literally drive your hot rod every day now.
Oh yeah.
And
well, you could back then. The idea that
not a bunch of stress. Not that much. I mean, my car wasn't even that nice, and I'm telling you, like, if I was to go to a car show and then have to stop and get gas, like, you would literally be nervous going in to pay for it, because you're like, man, somebody's going to go out there and, because people want to come up and look at it, and they don't concern themselves with their belt buckles or their zippers or their little kids coming over, and it just makes it, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me it made it uncomfortable to look. The only way I enjoyed it was as if I took it into town, stayed right beside it, or took it back to my house where I could keep an eye on it.
Well, absolutely. There's the show car that you keep under lock and key and you keep it pristine, but there's a daily driver hot rod that is also a show car. I mean, back in the 60s and 70s, people kept their Monte Carlos clean as an everyday driver, and their Cadillacs clean as an everyday driver, and
well, yeah, but back in the 60s and 70s, they weren't worth $50,000.
Right, and that's what I was getting to. Yeah. Is now people look at it more of a money thing.
Well, it's because it costs so much more money to have.
Right. So if you have a nice classic car, of course you don't want people out there dicking around with your $50,000, $60,000 car.
So it's better to, I think the reason a lot of people don't go with the super high quality paint is that
because of that.
Yeah, they'd rather spend $40,000 on a car that will make 500 horsepower and you can drive it every day, and they're like, it's still a 63 Impala, and just they'll leave it the way they found it in the field because it kind of already has a cool look to it, but you can beat the piss out of it. Like that, at least that's like working with Shane.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the what you're saying, and I know like people are. I just want to drive my hot rod. Mm-hmm. That's a big part of it.
Well, like Shane Kaiser, you seen the 48 Suburban him and I did.
Yeah.
Right. It's never going to have paint on it ever because he built it as a daily driver. Like he wants to drive it every day. And it looks cool as hell. When people see it, they're like.
Sorry, man.
I'm with you.
It's just not for me.
And you're not wrong. I mean, there's. I guess the difference is when I like to see those cars, I like to go to a museum and I like to see the beautiful stuff. For me, it's either got to be that, or you can beat on it and not worry about it. Me personally, I don't know where the middle ground is because I'm not a fan of primer. It's just unless it's done right, and then the only way to make primer done right is you're still going to end up doing like a semi-gloss clear over it, so you still got $1,000 in your primer job, just to make it look halfway decent. And then for me, when it gets to that point, it's like I have to paint it because I've already got all this money invested in the body work on it to make it straight. Because why would you primer it if you're not going to make it straight?
Well, that's the thing about primers. Primer's cool because as you work on the body and get it straightened out, you can just slap primer on that other primer. And then if you ever get it ready for a really nice paint job, then just sand it all down and have the body guys do it. But as far as like, it's the big thing about a show car and something to take to a show is working on it. It's hard to drive a project.
Oh yeah.
And that's the big thing is I think a lot of people want to show their cars off, without putting the wrench time on the body aspect and the aesthetics of it. Because just want to drive the car.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Like, I get impatient. I want to drive my trucks, but
yeah.
I'm like, man, I want to make them look right.
Right.
Because that's your face on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not even trying to be a big garage, but I mean, I did the work on them.
Right.
And people are going to know, like, that's this guy's level.
Yeah.
That's my craft level. That's what I do.
It's really difficult to find that line, man. It is.
It is.
Because like you take somebody like me, I don't care what it looks like. I want it to be fast. Like that's all I care about. Fast. Right. Don't know my car because it's going to go. Then I don't care what color it is.
I'm also an artist.
But exactly.
So I'm very much.
For you guys that don't know, the dude does super good work.
Nah, I don't.
I
do mediocre work.
Mediocre, but I had mediocre work. You fixed that. So I think a lot of times the perception of or what we want things to represent is going to be us. When we build a car, the automobile is representing the builder, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you said, you're an artist. You paint things, you draw things, you make things look visually awesome. Well, I can't draw a straight line. I'm a hot rod guy. I don't care what it looks like. I'll race it.
I race your paint.
Yeah, but neither one's better than the other. They both take a tremendous amount of time, work, pride, and money. So, I think as long as people do that, you'll be fine. I think what makes the car community suck in a lot of ways is me and you. Like we could.
I don't suck.
No. Let me finish.
Damn it! Did you hear that, Chip?
If we didn't have a level of respect for each other, and you were like, well, I don't care about your car being fast, it's ugly. And if I was like, well, I don't care about your car being slow, it's, or being pretty, it's slow. That's where you have that animosity at. And I think that's where the car community kind of lacks. If they would go, you know what, hey man, that's a good deal. That's what you like. That's badass. I like it. You know, it's not what I want, but I think when people say it's not what I want, the other person gets offended. Well, what do you mean it's not what you want? Well, it's just not what I want. You know? But people get offended by it.
I mean, I can't lie. Like, a lot of that car culture animosity is stemming from social media because it's so quick just to get on there and not antagonize anybody or anything, but if you see something that looks shitty, it's like just so easy just to post, you know, what brand of trash cans are those exhaust tips on that diesel? You know what I'm saying? Like unnecessary shit that, and we've all done it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't like telling people that car looks stupid. You know, you did a terrible job on that build. Blah blah blah.
Right.
I'm not going to be that guy, but I will say something like, you know, you not find a thinner tire. You know, like I will make them little bullshit comments, but I'm not going to say your whole build sucks.
I used to make those comments. But
I'm trying not to.
The older I get, the more I go. I did a lot of stupid stuff when I was a kid, so I'm gonna let it go. I mean,
right.
My first car didn't even have a heater in it, dude.
Right.
I had 81 Camaro with a 406 in it. That's what I drove to school with no heat. Like I had a heater plugged into the cigarette lighter, and people were like, you know, like that's dumb now. Like I think about it, I'm like, God, I was an idiot. But at the time, dude, I thought I had the coolest car in the world.
But that's what your first car is supposed to be. Like I've had some heaps.
Oh, me too.
I had a '77 Mercury Monarch 4-door. Was my first car, and it was rust colored. And I don't know if it was rust or the color rust. I don't know where the paint meant the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it was that color,
right?
And I had a '78 Grand Prix.
Nice car.
It was also a piece of shit. I mean, it ran great, but the body wasn't all that. And that's when you're a kid, you're supposed to have a POS car so that you can learn to work on them.
Right.
You know, it's a scary thought when you're 16, 17, learning to drive, and your car breaks down on the side of the road. You know, at 10 p.m. in the middle of the night, you're like, oh crap! Now what do I do? Now you buck up and you fix it.
Yep.
And you get your ass home.
Yep.
Because your parents are waiting, and if you don't get home, your ass of grass.
Yep.
So you learn how to fix that, and you get the hell home.
If not, you can figure out who to associate yourself with, who you gotta help.
Right.
Like, man, I'm in trouble. I'm out here on 460. I remember one of the things.
When I was 16, we didn't have cell phones.
Right. I didn't either.
Right.
I didn't either.
So, kids got that working for them now.
Yeah.
But sorry.
I remember being 17 years old, and like I said, I had a 406 in my 81 Camaro, and all 4 gears, all the 4 gears said, "I quit. I'm out."
Spit them out the rear end.
So me and a guy by the name of BJ drove my car in reverse from Jeffersonville to Mount Sterling down 460.
Holy crap!
At like 2 o'clock in the morning, and pulled up at my house and pulled the transmission out of it.
Hey.
And if I was to see a kid doing that now, I'm like, "What's wrong with you, idiot? Have you got no sense?
You damn dummy!"
But, I mean, we was doing it, dude, and it was crazy. We'd get up to about 30 mile an hour because you just set so gear going in reverse. I didn't shove it neutral, let it coast.
You do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
These are modern problems called modern solutions.
That's right. You make it work, by God.
That's right.
Don't be scared.
Yeah. But cars were a lot easier back in our day too.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the average person can fix them easier. I wouldn't say that they were easier to work on because literally, man, if you got a laptop and some software, it'll tell you what's wrong with it. You know, plug it up and go, oh, your car's not running right. And plug it up and go, oh, fuel injector 2 is bad. Hold on, let me fix that. You know, I mean, so there's good and bad, but I think in order to appreciate it all, you got to have it all. You got to know. You got to have dabbled in it all a little bit. You know, kind of be a jack of all trades and master of none. Which that's the way I am. You know, your brakes are the 4th set of drum brakes I've ever worked on. You know, I just never fooled with them. Didn't have them. You know, which was fun today because I was like,
learning experience.
What I do? All right, take a lot of pictures. That's the favorite. That's my favorite thing.
Oh, that signifies the end of the last episode.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that?
I had to take that out of there.
That was awesome. I don't know what that was, but it sounded good.
It was a big block.
Oh, big block.
That was at the end of the last episode.
Oh, okay.
I got to take it out of this episode.
That's all right. That's all right.
So
that's cool. I like it.
Anywho,
we're totally neglecting the no respect for the mini trucks in this town. Brown Centers, I respect the mini trucks as long as they got a badass motor in them.
I got a mini truck.
He does got a mini truck, actually, yeah. Said we get hated on all the time for our trucks. That's the problem that I see, Brian, is that people want to hate on each other because it's something that they don't like. I don't care what you drive. I'm not going to hate on it as long as you don't start shit with me. You know, if you enjoy what you're doing, I'm like, cool, man, make it happen. You know, but what I've noticed, and this is no disrespect to you, is that a lot of people that get hated on are getting hated on because they might have done something or said something to initiate that hate. At least that's the way it was when I was growing up. But man, I don't care what somebody's got. If you put your time and your effort into it, and it's something that you enjoy. I'm sorry, I'm so far away from here.
Oh no, I can hear you.
Yeah, if you put your time in it and your effort in it, and you enjoy it, man, that's all that matters. You know, people are always going to hate. You know, believe it or not, there are some select people out there that don't like loud hot rod cars. I don't associate with those people. I figure they're communists. But there's people that don't like it. You know, so
on Brian's point, I will agree with him. Is that my little Ranger? I have gotten a lot of
like
SHI double hockey sticks. I have taken a lot of crap for the wire wheels and stuff on my Ranger, and you know I've had people drop M-bombs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, you dumb hillbilly. Like I'm 6'4", I'm clad in camouflage.
Right.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least 90% of the time. Why? Who the hell in the?
Oh, I get it, man. I get it.
Who are you to even be that kind of a-hole?
Yeah.
To have that, like you're driving around a busted ass.
Right.
Not you personally, but for instance, generally, if you're driving around a busted ass '92 Silverado that doesn't even have half a bed on it and all this other crap, like you got no room to talk shit about somebody else's car or truck.
What I understand is those people, especially if they're in something like that, are usually just unhappy people anyway.
That's true.
So they have to find something to gripe about.
Yeah, I've had purple. I've had people swerve at me on the bypass in that truck and try to run me off the freaking road.
Crazy.
And I get pissed off and I'm like, God, taking the pause in my F-50. Oh, I make you eat shit right now. Like,
but you know what? It's no
frustrating.
Do you know how many of my buddies give me up the road for the wheels on my truck?
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, dude, it's crazy. They're like, who do you think you are? You think you're just a 19-year-old kid with your big wide wheels and blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's always going to be a set of haters for everything. But what you got to do is just understand that 9 times out of 10...
Consider the source.
Yeah, consider the source. And because a lot of times people are probably just trying to aggravate you to get along a lot of times, and they just mess it up real bad. But then there's those people that just, man, you're going to have 2 types of people in the world, okay? There's, if you're going to have the type of person that if they won the lottery, there's going to be like, man, I won $300 million, but the government took $50 million. Golly, I still got $250 million. And then you're going to have the other type that goes, well, golly, I can't believe all I got was $250 million. I won $300. The government took the rest of it. I don't know what I'm going to do. It just broke. You know, you're always going to have good and bad and ugly, man. So if somebody giving you crap about your car, man, don't sweat it because look.
No, I'm not sweating. Yeah, like people shouldn't sweat it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's incredibly hard. I mean, I have maybe in my younger days walked up to somebody and said, "What'd you say about my car?"
Right.
You know. Now you can't talk because your jaw's broke. What's up?
Yeah. Hard to talk with a busted lip, ain't it?
Exactly. But as you get older, you start to go, whatever, man.
And then you can just look at them assholes and be like, look, dude, I got a lowrider, I got a drag race truck, I got a gasser, I got an off-road truck, and I got a truck to haul them all. So you can piss off with 92 Celica.
Well, I mean, you can do that.
Most
a lot of people can't, Glenn.
That's why people got to get a truck for every season.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm actually having I've been having this conversation with quite a few car guys. Now I'll run it by you, which you're gonna love because I've basically guaranteed myself that I'm gonna buy a diesel truck next year. But this is the reason why. Diesel trucks hold the resale value like nothing I've seen. Okay?
Absolutely.
Like literally, I could go get $40,000 for a truck next year. There you go.
Diesel every day.
So I can go get
Until
40
payday.
grand. Go get 40 grand for a truck that does everything I want it to do. You know, heated seats, leather, nice truck. And I can drive it for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth 20 grand. You know? So let me take the source of what a diesel can do. It will tow anything I want to tow. I can make it as fast as I want to make it. I can take it off-road. I can raise it up in the air. I can drop it down on the ground. I can haul all my buddies or none of my buddies. It doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah.
So the older I get, the more I go, the more I find that my taste in vehicles is changing. So like, you know, right now I'm down to the least amount of cars I've had in 15 years. Right now I've only got 3 vehicles.
Why you do that to yourself?
It's less frustrating for me. I get tired of doing all the maintenance on them. I'm tired of keeping all the stuff that's broke, and you know, it gets aggravating. You know, so I went from that person that's had something for every season to now I just want a 2015 Duramax Denali.
Which is why you had my calamity.
Yep.
I got too much projects, too many irons in the fire, not enough fire for the irons.
I understand. I've been there. I lived the last 10 years of my life that way.
We need to build a bigger fire.
Bigger fire. Need to make bigger fire. I just needed the Denali Duramax and a Corvette. That's all I need. C6 Corvette Z06. That's all I need.
The Denali?
Yeah.
What?
And a C6 Z06.
And that's it?
That's it. That's all I need.
You don't need no other hot rods?
Nothing else.
No dirt bikes?
Nope.
The four-wheelers?
I would like to have a street glide.
Street glide?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know if you was into bikes or not.
Oh, yeah. You never seen my big dog, did you? I had a custom big dog. 107 cubic inch motor. Oh, yeah. That's what I learned to ride on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are stepping into a whole other world that we've never seen. Ricky D.
Yeah. Ricky D's had to know everything.
We're going to step into the two-wheel Ricky D on the next episode.
Oh, we can do that.
Because I had not known this, and this is information that I had not been privy to before.
Oh, yeah. My big dog made 114 horsepower at the time, 107 foot-pounds torque. Had a 107 cubic inch S&S motor on it, stage 2 McCunny carburetor. Bad son of a butt. Had a big old back door on it.
Well, you talking like that, we're going to have to bring another friend of mine on here named Hagen Baker.
Oh, I never heard of him.
He's a motorcycle guru. He is a two-wheel tech. He's the madman with the two-wheel plan. Yeah, he's like...
Now,
he's certified in just about every freaking bike you could think of.
I am very prejudiced when it comes to bikes. I am incredibly prejudiced.
He is not. He knows about all that.
I am. I have had I've had 2 jack bikes, and I had my big dog. And then I rode street gliding. I'm out. Street glide or street glide life or nothing.
Street glide or nothing.
Street glide or nothing.
All right. Well, we're gonna dive into that next time.
Yeah, dog.
And I'd like to thank all of our listeners and our viewers.
Yes, thank you all so much
for the first episode of season 2 of On All Cylinders, the podcast, and now the video cast with the podcast.
What?
Yeah, season 2. It's a new year.
New year, baby.
That's right.